So now I'd like to introduce His Excellency Yoonjoo Park. Consul General Yoonjoo Park arrived in Atlanta in June 2021. The Republic of Korea Consulate in Atlanta opened in 1976 and delivers services to the states of not just Georgia, but also Alabama, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee, and the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. I don't know if you get to go down to the U.S. Virgin Islands, but I would highly recommend it. I've taken a bunch of vacations down there. Previously, Consul General Park has held various positions, such as Consular of the Korean Embassy in Iran, Director of North American Division 2, which is a very important division back in Seoul in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Deputy Consul of the Korean Consulate in Boston, Counselor of the Korean Embassy in Australia, Deputy Director General for North American Affairs, and Director General for Human Resources. Consul Park, okay.
Thank you for the kind introduction. And just before joining the ministry, I was doing nothing in the college, but to study actually. And okay, good morning. Welcome to today's the Comprehensive Strategic U.S. Korea Alliance Seminar, which is held as the part of Korea Society's National Outreach Program. First, I would like to thank Thomas Byrne, President of the Korea Society, and Jay Kim, President of the Southeast U.S. Korean Chamber of Commerce, for setting the stage for discussing how to develop the Korea-U.S. alliance and its implications for Georgia. I would like to express my special thanks to former U.S. Forces Korea Commander General Vincent Brooks, and moderators Ambassador Charles Shapiro, and Professor William Saucer, and all panelists. Ladies and gentlemen, the world is experiencing intensifying strategic competition among the great powers. 140 days have passed since the start of the war in Ukraine, and there is no sign of an end. As Ian Bremmer, the president of Eurasia Group, recently wrote in the Foreign Affairs, there are also growing concerns about the advent of a new Cold War. The geopolitical crisis had led to soaring oil prices and food crisis and record high inflation around the world, which are distressing the post-pandemic global economy. The Korean Peninsula and Northeast Asia are no exception. The region where the US, Russia, and China meet has historically been one of the most fierce strategic competition battlefield among the major powers. From a geopolitical point of view, the Korean Peninsula is a bridgehead to Pacific Ocean and gateway to the Asian mainland. Now, this region has become even more important in the U.S. strategy for the Indo-Pacific region. North Korea remains a great security concern to the United States and its allies. Pyongyang has tested an unprecedented number of missiles this year, 31 compared to 25 during the whole of its last record-breaking year, 2019. And each only July, North Korea has also shown signs of a seventh nuclear test. Ambassador Sung Kim, U.S. Special Representative to North Korea, said in the last month, North Korea could conduct a seventh nuclear test at any time. Under these circumstances, the importance of Korea and the U.S. alliance, which is the backbone of our foreign policy and today's seminar subject, cannot be overstressed. Just 11 days after President Yoon's inauguration, the summit between President Yoon and President Biden was held in Seoul. In that summit, the two leaders committed to developing Korea-U.S. relations into a global, comprehensive, strategic alliance. In the face of a heightened nuclear and ballistic missile threat posed by North Korea, South Korea is working more closely with the United States and the international community than ever before to respond to any North Korea's provocations based on provocations, based on the principles. Last month, in his first meeting with Secretary of State Tony Blinken as the Korean Foreign Minister, Minister Park Jin, agreed with Secretary Blinken that Pyongyang's provocation will only lead to strengthened deterrence of alliance and stronger international sanction measures. At the same time, Seoul will remain committed to dialogue and diplomacy, and in watertight coordination with Washington will make consistent effort to return the stalled inter-Korean relations to the dialogue phase. In addition, Seoul will actively provide humanitarian aid to North Korea, including assistance for fight against COVID-19, without any political or military considerations. Meanwhile, uncertainties in the economic sector have also significantly increased. COVID-19, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and its spillover effects on global commodity markets and supply chains have significantly deteriorated the growth outlook. It is in the backdrop of these challenges that our alliance is evolving into economic and technological alliance. For instance, Korea participated as a founding member of the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, following the Korea-U.S. Summit in this May. Through the IPEF, Korea will further strengthen its joint effort with the United States to build an open, transparent, and inclusive regional economic order. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the Korea-U.S. Free Trade Agreement. The Korea-U.S. FTA, which was launched after overcoming fierce debate at home regarding the benefits and costs of the agreement, has become a game changer in promoting the mutual interest of our two economies over the last decade, marking it a true win-win agreement. Now it is time for us to prepare for a new decade by jointly responding to new global challenges with the foundation of the successful Korea-U.S. FTA. If you are curious about how to brace for the next decade, you can get the answer right here in Georgia. Today, in whichever direction you go in Georgia, you can easily find Korean companies playing a key role in establishing America's supply chain in high-tech industries. Kia Motors established its first North American manufacturing plant in West Point in 2006. It was the biggest investment in Georgia's history at that time. After Kia Motors' investment, West Point, once a center of the textile industry, has transformed into an innovative automobile production base. The innovation of Korean companies in Georgia does not stop there. It has expanded to electric vehicle batteries and renewable energy field. SK Battery built its first electric vehicle battery production plant in Commerce in 2018 and will continue to expand its business in the U.S. Hana Kyushel, which established a solar module manufacturing facility in Dalton in 2018, has recently announced an additional $170 million investment. Hana Kyushel is also expanding its business to renewable energy. When President Biden visited Korea this May, Hyundai Motor Group announced it will invest about $5.5 billion in Savannah to open its first fully dedicated electric vehicle and battery manufacturing facility. On the whole, more than 120 Korean companies are underpinning Georgia's economy. Due to the brisk investment of Korean companies to Georgia, the trade volume between Korea and Georgia has increased 37% in the last 3 years. In a nutshell, Georgia is emerging as a model state of realizing Korea-U.S. economic and technological alliance. Ladies and gentlemen, this year marks the 150th anniversary of signing the Treaty of Peace, Amity, Commerce, and Navigation. Next year is the 70th anniversary of the signing of the Korea-U.S. Mutual Defense Treaty. There is a Korean saying that deep-rooted trees are not swayed by wind, and spring water come from the deep does not dry up. I am convinced that trust and friendship between Korea and U.S. has never been stronger and deeper. President Yoon's administration, defending free democracy and market economic value, will fulfill its role and responsibility as a pivotal global state that contributes to regional stability and global prosperity. I look forward to hearing a lot of wisdom and insight from the experts here. Once again, I thank the people who organized this meeting and welcome all the distinguished guests. Thank you. Thank you.